Hello BIOL1001, welcome to week 7. We are in unit 3.3, so we're continuing on our study of human health, and this week we're going to be focusing on genetic diseases. So these are diseases that are passed on from one generation to the next, and this is really our opportunity, our chance to study the process of inheritance writ large. So we're going to be looking at, in chapter 11, the process of simple inheritance and how meiosis really guides this process of simple inheritance, how it guides patterns of inheritance, how it really allows us to predict what type of genotypes and phenotypes the offspring will have. So for chapter 11, focus on what actually happens during meiosis, when major events occur, how it results in the two laws of inheritance. These laws are segregation and independent assortment, and then how we can, based on this process of meiosis, predict the phenotypes and genotypes of offspring. So this is really what we call, another name for this is Mendelian genetics. And if you want some more information about that, the section M4 gives you a little bit of historical background on Mendel and sort of what we thought about inheritance prior to the discovery of Mendelian genetics. Then in chapter 2, you're going to be getting into a little more complicated patterns of inheritance. So not every trait follows this sort of simple Mendelian pattern, and in fact some traits are what we call sex-linked traits. So they're whether or not you express them phenotypically depends on whether or not you're a male or a female, because we have different sex chromosomes, and so we can have different genes on those chromosomes. You'll also be looking at what we call continuous variation, so traits that are not determined by one gene and two alleles, but determined by multiple genes and multiple alleles. And so that can lead to a lot more variation in a given trait. It's not just, are you a white flower or are you a pink flower? It's more like a trait you can think of, for example, like height. There's a lot of continuous variation in height. It's not just categorical yes or no. It's a whole range. And that's because there's lots of genes that contribute to your height. There's also environmental components that contribute to your phenotype. So this is common for most human traits, including traits we think about in terms of our own health, like mental health. So you'll be looking at how mental health is determined by not only your genes, but also your environment. And then you'll also be looking at different patterns of dominance. So it's not just simply, as you might remember from intro bio class in high school, dominant versus recessive. There's alternative types of dominance. And then finally, you'll be looking at how changes in the whole entire chromosome structure or number of chromosomes can influence relatively common genetic diseases that we're familiar with. So those are the focuses for chapter 11 and 12. You always have your essential questions, so make sure you check in with your group to get those done. And then you have, for the lab, you're completing your final lab media project. So this is your group's final summary project of the claims about cancer lab. So you're going to take all the data you collected from last week and you're going to try to synthesize it in a presentation that either confirms your original hypothesis or rejects your original hypothesis, and you're going to present it as though it were an ad. So you're going to be like, hey, this product works. Or you'll be like, this product, don't buy. No bueno, okay? But you're going to be doing it in a little more, hopefully, creative way than that, and actually incorporating multimedia components. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. The instructions are on Moodle, of course. And as always, good luck. Have a good week.